What's up, guys? It's your bear, and I am back with something interesting. The Fantastic Four First Steps official teaser. Am I a little bit worried? Yes, I am. I don't know what Marvel's grudge against the Fantastic Four has been, but it has not been very good. I kind of watched like the old Fantastic Four, and that was really great. I personally really enjoyed Fantastic Four 1 and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, and the newer one wasn't that great. It kind of missed the mark a little bit, and the Fantastic Four is a pretty cool team that Marvel's kind of slept on. And now there's a trailer for it, so we are gonna get a new Fantastic Four. But Marvel's also kind of been a little bit disappointing recently, so maybe it could be a make or break. But anyways, we're gonna give it a watch, and we're going to hope that they don't ruin it. Oh, that's very old style.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at
Daddy
7
Pascal?
on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Herbie, how's that sauce coming?
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. Okay, is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip, okay?
T-5.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock.
The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together. As a family.
It's tough. That's a tough one to judge. And something I did notice quickly, right about here, presented in fantastic vision. Is that a legitimate thing, or is that like a play on the fact, like, wasn't WandaVision? I don't know, it's just something that I noticed, but this is kind of, this is interesting. I don't know why, but I kind of like that, like, old school 60 vibes when they were predicting what the future would like be like and how cool and advanced technology would end up. I like that feel to it, and it fits into the Fantastic Four very well with Dr. Reed being this genius, and the tower, the Baxter builder that they stayed in, he always had these like cool gadgets and things inside of it, which having Herbie there kind of like shows that a little bit. And I mean, this isn't a slight on them. Again, this is just a slight on the logo design. But does that or does that not look like the Avengers Tower A? Like, is this some sort of reference that in the Avengers Tower was based off of the Baxter Building? Because this is looking like a prequel, predated kind of thing. I don't know if there's going to be like some time gap, but throughout the whole thing, they kind of keep this consistent 60s looking style of like the TV, the backgrounds, the cars. Where's the car? Show me the car again. That was gorgeous. It's like this right here is very much like the future envisioning of like cars that they had. Like the Jetsons kind of thing going on here, especially the inside of their house. Their penthouse gives like very Jetsons vibes, which is kind of cool because I like that, and I think it's fun to experiment with the different styles. Fantastic Four was more popular during that time, and I mean, I'm looking at these characters and their designs. I pulled a face when I saw Ben because this is kind of what Ben looked like in those old comics and in that old TV show was this when they did it in the live action. They very much fleshed him out to be this big, buff, wide rock thing, but he still very much had a human build, and he still had these like, I don't know why, but they gave him these nasty looking eyebrow things to give him his expressions. How do you express a rock? You give him ridiculous eyebrows, and it was that motion of those eyebrows that made Ben the expression thing that he was. Also, this costume, the white, was taken out in the live action movies, and they opted for that gray black to it. But this is it. This is what their OG outfits had. They had the emphasis on this white, and this blue in particular that kind of just made them pop. Like the original Captain America comic books, the blue that they had on him, they really made the colors pop in comparison to the background. Look how much him and Herb stand out in comparison to this background.
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. Okay. Is this guy good or what?
See, here's again these like futuristic ideas of what was our fridge going to look like? What was this going to look like? Everything was kind of like curved or shaped in these specific designs. So it's cool to see them
I want to add a couple
bring
cloves
that
of
in.
garlic. Not because it's not delicious. I just want to add a little bit of zip. Okay?
T-5.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock.
The best pilot in the world, right?
I kind of like the idea of Pedro Pascal as Reed.
Here.
Yeah.
Best looking he
Dr.
means.
Reed Richards.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Flame on!
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
I like trying to get Sue. She had that short hair.
Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together.
Sue's her name's not Sue. This is bad. I'm bragging about how well I know the Fantastic Four. I've actually entirely forgotten her name. No, I'm pretty sure it's Sue. Sue. Oh my gosh, I am a disgrace. I should know this. That's taking forever to load. Wait. The Invisible Woman. Sue Storm Richard. I wasn't wrong. I was not wrong. Do you know what it was? What was confusing me? In the X-Men, they have the Storm, and her full name is Sue Storm. And I was thinking, nah, that confusion vibe, right? Her name is Sue. Sue and Johnny Storm. Anyways, this here is all very OG Fantastic Four, and it's very interesting to see them turn back in time because they've brought everything forward in time in all their previous movies. The only ones that's really been set back in time was Captain America. So it's interesting to see how they're gonna adapt to that. The first steps in the name. Is this going to be a prequel? A new generation of reviving older comics and giving it that era of nostalgia? Like the one thing I'm looking at here is that giant robot is the indication, but that doesn't seem very Doctor Doom-esque. If anything, that reminds me of Bastion, and it's probably not Bastion. It just reminds me of one of Bastion's older designs. But they don't indicate a bad guy really. I'm not too sure who this is supposed to be. That's the crazy guy from Red. I can't see him any other way. Merlin looking motherfucker right now. But they don't show like an enemy throughout. They kind of give you little snippets of each character. They're always an OG couple goals. And we see this, and this could just be that robot entering the atmosphere. It's very interesting because usually Marvel like to at least tease their villains a bit more than what this has done. And I'll get to it now as to why I'm a little bit like majorly concerned about the Fantastic Four being brought back into the MCU franchise. Is I just want to get back to this. They recently announced Robert Downey Jr. to be Doctor Doom, and as far as I know, Doom is going to be a standalone thing. The main enemy for the Fantastic Four has always been Doctor Doom, so I'm very interested to see if this is where that Doctor Doom's origin is going to come in, or if it's going to be entirely separate, and we're going to have to look at the different multiverses and different timelines, which I'm tired of keeping track of. And if this is just a prequel for the sake of being a prequel, just for the sake of creating a really cool Fantastic Four movie, I'm all for that, but I don't know, there's like this odd feeling to it, knowing that because Doctor Doom is supposed to be a standalone thing, and I could be wrong, I could have interpreted that information wrong when I was told that there was going to be a Doom movie. I could be entirely wrong. And his first appearance as Doctor Doom could be this multiverse timeline version of Iron Man, so to say. And this is where he first appears. This could be a multiverse of the Fantastic Four that's going to get wrapped into the overall multiverse that we are currently dealing with. I really hope it doesn't, because I am a little... I say it over and over again, I'm tired of it. I'm not too happy with Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Doctor Doom, and that's nothing on Robert Downey Jr. That is absolutely nothing on him, because he's a really great actor, and I don't think the MCU universe would be where it is today without his Iron Man. Like those OG movies, I don't think they could have gotten anywhere near this far without that. Blade gave them the push they needed to move into the proper MCU universe, and then Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth and all of them, the original 6, they just came in and they nailed it and they sold it. And it's reached a point and it's going down, and they need to bring it back up again. And I think this is a good way to do it. Stop rehashing characters you've used. Stop bringing in the new generations. Like, we've got new Black Widows, we have the new Hawkeye, and don't get me wrong, they're fun and interesting characters, and they've got great actors attached to it. I haven't checked it out yet, but there's a new Captain America movie coming out, and it looks like they're introducing the Red Hulk. And we had the She-Hulk series, so to introduce the Red Hulk and to have a throwback of the Abomination in previous movies as well. So it's really nice to see how they're all like coming together, but at the same time they're not doing a very good job at it. And to just create some standalone movies that live outside of all of that chaos would be really nice and refreshing. And when I recommend things to people who aren't enjoying it, I say watch Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, because it's a good movie that's standalone, that can stand on its own outside of all of this multiverse madness, pun intended. And we need more movies like that. I much prefer to go back and watch all the original Avengers before all this craziness got into it. Even though the third Spider-Man is like kind of into the multiverse, pun intended, they did a good job at keeping his story so separate but entwined that you could watch the 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies without needing to go back and watch Endgame and Infinity War and all of that, because they flesh it out so well in how they do it. Whereas some of the other things, they've had to constantly bring up the blood. They have to constantly bring up that there was this. And it's really old now. And I think some new content, some new concepts. The Fantastic Four, they revived the X-Men, and that did really well. And that was really good. Keep bringing that in. We've got Ryan Reynolds headlining Deadpool right now, and he's bringing in that Deadpool vibe to it. There is a whole world of things that they could bring in. Heck, bring in Squirrel Girl. Are you hearing me, Marvel? Bring in Squirrel Girl. Give us a whole ass show about Squirrel Girl. For those of you who've been playing Marvel Rivals. But, like, Squirrel Girl's just an example. There's such a huge world of characters that they can tap into. And then we also gotta remember that in the original comic books and stuff, team-ups were such a thing. There are old movies. I will try and find the posters and I will pop them on the screen for you. But there are movies where Hulk and Wolverine would team up. I'm pretty sure there was a Thor versus Wolverine or something. The X-Men would appear side by side. with the Avengers and with the Fantastic Four and stuff like that. I mean, there have been cases where I'm pretty sure that like X-Men and the Brotherhood have been like, oh, we gotta join forces because we gotta take down Bastion because fuck that thing. So there's so much untapped potential, and also like looking at the world of actors that we have today, like bringing in Pedro here and these other guys that I can't remember her name, but she's also really, really good. Bringing them in is like great, and they match the aesthetic that they have created. And I'm loving how they did Ben. I think that's probably the best thing is how they've done Ben. And then something I just want to go back to and try and find, and then I'm pretty much done with my rant on this. Just about the car, I think. Bear with.
Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together.
Oh, man. Perfect. Check this. I can guarantee you, growing up, I had a mask like that. A plastic face mask. I didn't even realize it. He's wearing one of those fake muscle suits. It is a The Rock fake muscle suit. My brother had one of Spider-Man, and they've got like extra foaming to pad out all the exaggerated muscles. That's a sweet nod, not just for the time that it's in and that's how they would have done costumes, but also like that's just a little nod to like our childhoods and how we would have had costumes done. We had these plastic mask things long before we had realistic masks or anything like that. In fact, so many of us had paper plates and we just drew the faces on the paper plates and used a piece of string to keep it together. I guarantee you there's a flimsy piece of stretchy string at the back of that that's going to break off after 3 or 4 uses. I have to sit here and I have to say I am a bit excited for it. I'm interested. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know who their villain is going to be. Is it going to be Doctor Doom? I know they have some of the other villains. I just can't think of them right now because their main villain has been Doctor Doom, and with the whole Robbie Downey Jr. thing. So it's very keen to see it. There's a lot of Marvel stuff in the works right now. So maybe this year could be a good year for Marvel. I'm kind of hoping so because Marvel's like a really good action franchise. I'm really curious to see visually this whole 60s aesthetic that they're going for, this how they envisioned the future. It's very groove-tastic. Like I kept saying, very Jensen vibe is the best way I can describe it. And I'm really hoping you guys know what I'm talking about when I say meet the Jetsons. The Jetsons. It's just... I want to be hopeful and open-minded, but I am worried about it. But honestly, it looks good. It looks pretty great, and I'm hoping that we will get a longer trailer to give us some more information because I'm really keen to see how they're going to go with this. But that's it for the Fantastic Four first steps. I think they said it was coming out in June, July, there we go. I'm just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's a mixture between I'm excited because I love the Fantastic Four and I'm worried because they have not done the Fantastic Four justice before. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you have an obscure Marvel hero that you would like to see into the franchise at some point? Let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I will see you all later.
Okay. Okay, is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip, okay?